And if ye fear poverty, if you're worried about your money, soon will Allah enrich you, if He wills, out of His bounty, for Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. Fight those who believe not in Allah, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and His messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth from among the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Therefore, the messenger of Allah decided to fight the Romans in order to call them to Islam. Nadir told us a lovely little story about Allah's command to fight the unbelievers, why Allah did it, but what actually happened. The people of Muhammad's tribe were worried about how they were going to make money. In the past, they had made a ton of money from the polytheists, but now that Muhammad was in charge, the polytheists were no longer allowed to take the pilgrimage, so the Quraysh wanted to know how they were going to pay their bills. Allah answered, you're going to make money by fighting the Christians and the Jews. They'll gladly pay you to avoid being killed. And Muhammad decided to fight the Romans. Surah 929, not according to me, not according to Nadir, according to Muslim sources, is a money-making scheme. Fight people until they pay you. The Jews and Christians are to be a source of revenue, source of income for Muslims. As for other non-Muslims, Muhammad interpreted Allah's command to fight unbelievers as a command to fight unbelievers. Muhammad said in Sahih Muslim number 33, Nadir told me not to bring this up and then I will be crushed. That's an open invitation in my book to be crushed. Look forward to it. Sahih Muslim number 33. Think about how clear this is. The Messenger of Allah said, I have been commanded to fight against people till they testify that there is no God but Allah, that Muhammad is the Messenger of Allah, and they establish prayer and pay zakat, and if they do it, if they do all these things, if they become Muslims, if they do it, their blood and property are guaranteed protection on my behalf, except when justified by law, and their affairs rest with Allah. Because of the Quran's emphasis on fighting, Muhammad came to regard jihad, fighting in Allah's cause, as the greatest deed a Muslim can perform. The Nadir seem to agree. In Sahih al-Bukhari 2785 we read, a man came to Allah's messenger and said, guide me to such a deed as equals jihad in reward. Muhammad replied, I do not find such a deed. Greatest thing you can do. Muhammad went so far as to declare that Muslims who don't fight the unbelievers, or at least want to fight the unbelievers, are hypocrites. We read in Sunan an-Nasai 3099, the Prophet said, whoever dies without having fought or having thought of fighting, he dies on one of the branches of hypocrisy. Fighting is so essential to Islam that you cannot be a complete Muslim without fighting the unbeliever. In Sunan Ibn Majah 2763, Muhammad says, whoever meets Allah with no mark on him as a result of fighting in his cause, he will meet him with a deficiency. In Islam, you are deficient if you do not have visible wounds on your body from fighting unbelievers. Muhammad, of course, didn't want to be a deficient Muslim, and so one of his greatest desires was to die while fighting non-Muslims. In Sahih al-Bukhari 2797, Muhammad says, by him in whose hands my soul is, I would love to be martyred in Allah's cause, and then come back to life, and then get martyred, and then come back to life again, and then get martyred, and then come back to life again, and then get martyred. Muslims of the world, you hear your prophet. I just want to go out and fight until I die, and then come back so I can fight and kill some more until I die, and then come back and fight some more, and so I can kill and die, and then come back and then fight some more. Who wants to join my peaceful religion? Or else? Does Islam promote violence towards non-Muslims? The Quran says yes. Muhammad says yes. Westernized Muslims either say no, or like Nadir, they qualify what it means to fight the unbelievers. But who speaks for Islam? The Quran, Muhammad, or Westernized Muslims like Nadir Ahmed? Nadir apparently thinks that he understands the Quran better than Muhammad did. But if he really believes that, he must believe that he can speak more clearly than Allah, or that he at least interprets the Quran better than Muhammad did. Let's take a look at Nadir's argument. His position seems to be the Christians of Muhammad's time were really, really bad. Allah commanded Muslims to fight these Christians because of their evil deeds. Muslims were justified in fighting the Christians because the Christians were bad. So, Christians are bad. Allah wanted Muslims to fight the Christians because they're bad, and they're justified because they were so bad. So Christians and Jews and pagans were fighting, and to stop the fighting, to stop all the fighting and bloodshed, according to Nadir, Allah sent the Muslims to fight all of them so that everyone could ultimately live in harmony. And you can ask the Christian minorities in Pakistan, Iraq, and Egypt how that worked out for them. Let's look at Surah 929 of the Quran, since Nadir started off with that. Nadir says that this verse protected Jews from Christians. The problem is, Jews are, of course, included in the people that are to be fought. Let's read it. Let's see what Nadir claims about this and see if his claims stand up to scrutiny. Fight those who believe not in Allah. Pay attention to every criterion for fighting people in this verse. Fight those who believe not in Allah, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and his messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth from among the people of the book until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Every criterion for fighting them there has to do with what they believe or their basic religious practices, the practices of their religion. Nothing in there about you're going out and you're committing genocide, you're going out and slaughtering people. Nothing in there. But Nadir says that's why the verse was revealed. That was the problem with the Christians and Jews. Well, here he's contradicting his own Quran. Because if you want to know why Muslims were to fight the Christians and the Jews, go to the very next verse. All you have to do is keep reading. Context, my friends. The next verse tells Muslims why they are to fight us. Surah 9, verse 30. And the Jews say, Uzair is the son of Allah. And the Christians say, the Messiah is the son of Allah. These are the words of their mouths. They imitate the saying of those who disbelieved before. May Allah destroy them, how they are turned away. What did the Christians do? Went around slaughtering people? No, Christians said Jesus is the Son of God. That's the crime. That's why you fight them. But Nadir apparently wants something a little more peaceful for Western viewers, but that's not what the Quran says. And let's look at another claim by Muhammad. Allah's messenger said, I've been ordered to fight the people till they say, La ilaha illallah. I've been ordered to fight people until they become Muslims. Not I've been ordered to fight people until they stop killing each other and stop all the bloodshed and stop all the mean acts. I've been ordered to fight them until they become Muslim. That's the goal. And finally, Islam's greatest commentator is Ibn Kathir. So Nadir apparently can speak more clearly than Allah. He understands the Quran better than Muhammad did, but he also understands Islam better than Islam's greatest commentator, Ibn Kathir, who, in his commentary on Surah 2:256, concluded, based on his study of Islam, therefore all people of the world should be called to Islam. If any one of them refuses to do so, or refuses to pay the jizya, they should be fought till they are killed. This isn't about fighting a particular group who are killing each other. This is about fighting all people of the world. That is clear violence towards unbelievers.